You are now dialed in with the Dial Brothers.
Top of the morning to you.
Who says that? No one says that.
I was just thinking about somebody that used to say that, and so I don't know. But Steven,
Yeah.
it's episode 25.
Wow. 25 with an asterisk, but yes, 25.
You
Because
somebody we
technically
missed a
we
week.
taped an episode on the ship that no one ever saw now. So yeah, this is 25.
There is a episode in the hidden vault that maybe next year sometime we'll release. Be like, look, this was a hidden episode from when we went on the cruise.
Yeah,
But
25. I was going to say 25 years. 25 weeks. That's big. That's big.
yeah. Still at this thing, and you know what? Now I'm not about to do the math. I remember. I think because we missed a week, it actually might even out now, like with the end of the year. I don't know, but we'll figure that out later. Either way,
Season 1.
yeah. You know what? Okay, sidebar. How do seasons, I guess, in TV work?
Oh,
Because
I don't know. I'm in news,
sometimes,
not TV.
because sometimes it's like, is it a certain number of episodes or is it?
Yeah,
And
I
I guess
don't know what makes it a season. But yeah, because I think they're like a season is like 6 months. It's definitely not a full year.
No.
And then some shows like take a break in the middle of the year and then pick back up. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's almost like sometimes some shows have 2 seasons in 1 year.
I don't know. I don't know how.
And you definitely that's like regular TV. You can't go based off like Netflix, because Netflix is
right. That don't count.
Yeah, you have something that they have 3 episodes for 1 season, but something else have 20 episodes for 1 season.
Yeah,
So I guess it's just whatever you want it to be.
I wonder how. I mean, I guess people who do podcasts, it's probably just a year. Like,
No, I've seen some that I don't know. I think you do that. I think right now we could be like, you know what, 25 episodes in, this is the season finale.
Yeah,
and then be gone for 2 weeks and come back, be like, it's season 2.
they have like season 2. Y'all just started.
Yeah.
Man, I know. There's an elephant in the room. We're going to talk about all the craziness that's been happening with politics. We're going to talk about that. So I love our people, but sometimes we do too much. Look at this video. We'll discuss it.
You can look at it as long as you don't grab it. As long as you don't grab it. As long as you don't grab it. You can look at it as long as you don't grab it. Grab it. As long as you don't grab it. You want to
You probably think that's innovative.
Very, especially I've never seen it on like a keychain and stuff. Whoever came up with that, like you say, it's discreet. I don't see anything wrong with it.
Why is it needed? You don't have to carry around spices and seasonings to go to restaurants. You don't need that.
Well, yeah, I don't need it. You say you don't need it, but who are we to say that other people don't need it? I mean,
why? And
obviously,
yeah, some people complain, "Oh, this food was under seasoned." Blah blah blah. Then don't go to that place.
But maybe it's somewhere you didn't know that it was going to be like that, and
Yeah,
you like,
she
you know
used
what?
it on a plane. I think that.
Yeah, and you like, you know what? I'm so glad I had this garlic powder with me.
And how does that get on a plane? You bring in that's like
travel size,
but multiple.
I think it's innovative.
It's better than bringing the large containers that I've seen in videos.
I was just about to say, we often complain about the people who come in there with a whole big bottle of hot sauce or whatever. So this is discreet, really, until you see them at the table doing it. You don't know what that is on the keychain. So kudos to whoever came up with that.
Why would you want that all on your keychain?
A big bat came up with that.
I just don't get it. Like, what's the purpose of it?
To be prepared when you find yourself stuck at a restaurant or on a plane. Now, they must have had a real good seat or was on a long flight to need to put seasoning something on a plane.
She probably, yeah.
Unless she brought food on the plane.
But
and I hate when people do that. Listen,
yeah, can you smell it up the plane?
yes, here is a public service announcement. Finish your food before you get on that plane. Don't come on there with nothing with no onions or none of that. No, with your Philly cheesesteak, don't do that.
I mean, they said, okay, I need this meal on the plane. I don't want to eat it while I'm sitting waiting for the plane. I am eating it on the plane.
Well, you should pick something that's not so smelly, something that you know people can
Man,
handle.
speaking of airlines, I know some people who were stranded. What was it? Just a technical issue? Because I know people with American, but apparently Delta had the most
Yeah,
delays.
but it was more than airlines. It was all kind of stuff. They said it was stuff in hospitals. Whatever the company was, wherever they are, they had an issue. But it's like, and this speaks to well, like monopolies and stuff. Kind of you think about Microsoft. So if
Mhm.
Microsoft went down, you know how many businesses and hospitals and stuff would be a problem. And so that's all it was. It was nobody's. Well, it wasn't the airline's fault. It was the
But
third party.
I thought the technical thing with Microsoft or whatever happened days before that. Like it made it seem like the flight thing was over the weekend. I thought the Windows down thing was like Thursday or Friday.
Well, I think stuff was kind of connected together, but either way,
Mm,
it wasn't the airline's fault. It was the third party people's fault. Now,
mm,
maybe they're gonna reconsider some stuff moving forward. I'm talking about the airlines
mhm.
because I mean that was a big mess up, but it happened all over the world. So I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that it's even though I understand how frustrating it was. Speaking of cruises, some people here, the church had family. It was 17 of them
Mhm.
was supposed to be going to Fort Lauderdale flying to make it to their cruise. It was all messed up. They end up
Oh,
all having to drive down there to get on the cruise.
so did
And
they
so
make
it,
it?
yeah. But
Oh,
it
lucky.
reminded me of when I was waiting in the airport to come back to Atlanta. There was a
Mhm.
family who missed their cruise and
Oh,
they were so upset and it was a mess. Talking
man.
about people who take seasoning places. These were them type people. It
What are
was
you trying to say? See, y'all be thinking I'll be the one talking about people. Uh, now, one of my classmates reached out to me about like, do they get reimbursements? Like, I forgot. Like, is that something because it's a technical issue? Like you said, it's not the airline's fault. Should they be obligated to reimburse people? Like, this wasn't a delay due to something else. Like it was something that they could not control. Should they be obligated to still refund people?
I think I think a couple things. I see it from a few different perspectives. One, we never read the fine print. Really,
Hmm.
in the fine print of a lot of this stuff, it says that if stuff like that happens, that they don't owe you anything, or not like a full refund.
Yeah.
So part of it, really, we can't be mad because when we buy the ticket, agree that something could happen. Also, all of us click, no, I don't want insurance, or
Yeah. Yeah.
you know what I mean.
And the funny thing is, it doesn't even cost a lot. But I'm just like, no, I don't want insurance. I don't.
So some of it is our fault,
Yeah.
a little bit. But I think, and I can understand if it really wasn't their fault. So now if they pay everybody on the plane back their money, then that means that flight didn't make money, but they still had to pay the pilot. They still had to
So
pay the
so what they do is they give you flight credit. So it's still
yeah,
they still have your money. But
yeah.
now I think after some recent law change or something from the Department of Transportation, now depending on what it is and how long the delay is, you have to get cash back. Um,
Mm.
but I mean, that's the way the airlines still kept their money by saying, "Oh yeah, we'll just give you flight credit so
I'm
you
still
still
fighting.
within."
I'm still fighting trying to get my money back. And they had an
I
option.
think you got to be delayed 4 hours. Were you delayed 4 hours?
We were supposed to originally leave at 12 or what time? Yeah,
It was one.
12:30.
It was one.
Oh, whatever it was, that plane didn't take off till 9 o'clock.
Did you reach out?
Yeah, they actually sent a thing because they kept sending emails saying we apologize that your
Mhm.
flight was delayed and everything. Because remember, they sent up it was a $12 food voucher,
Yeah.
then they sent a hotel voucher and a rental car voucher. So they knew they messed up.
Yeah.
And but it was like for those of us who were coming home, like Atlanta was home, I
Mhm.
don't need a hotel voucher. Like that what's that gonna do to me? Give me my money back. And so just because you got to deal with some hotel that you probably ain't
Right.
even have pay for it, like no, give me my money back. So in the thing with them, and I got an email yesterday, them responding. They gave an option. How do you want the money back? Don't mean
Mm.
that that's what you're gonna get, but I said I want it back the same way I paid you.
Yeah.
But if I talk to a person, I'm gonna tell them, be honest with you, you know what? I'm supposed to be going to Las Vegas for my birthday. Just get me a flight to Las Vegas,
Mm.
even though I kind of trust Spirit or Frontier more
Oh
than
my
y'all.
god.
But
I don't understand why you're saying that.
just give me a flight
You
to
had
Las
one bad
Vegas.
experience. That does not mean Spirit is better than Delta.
All y'all on the Dialed In show, the Dialed In fam, the dialers, whatever y'all call, all y'all was giving me heck about flying Spirit and Frontier. So I
Because
said,
Spirit and
okay.
Frontier aren't good.
So I said, okay, in which I had no problems with Spirit and Frontier. So I'm like, okay. So I spent all this money to be bougie with y'all and fly on Delta. Man, Delta plane was broke.
Okay, that was one time.
Delta had me in the
You know how
airport
many you know how many
all day.
emergency landings and things that Spirit has?
I never
You just
had it with
happen to
them.
not be on it.
Mm.
Oh man.
So
All right.
I want
All
my
right.
money back
Well, hopefully
or them to
you
pay
get
for
it.
my flight to Las
You
Vegas.
you get it. Hopefully. All right.
And I got
Go
a
ahead.
credit. Remember, because when I changed my flight,
Mhm.
it was cheaper, so
Yeah.
I got a little bit of
Cheaper.
credit. But I don't see the credit.
You're probably just not looking right.
Delta playing games.
All right.
I, I'm going
Calling
back
out
to
Atlanta-based Delta. All right.
I'm going back to Spirit and Frontier.
You do that, sir. You do that. All right. So the elephant in the room. A lot has changed in the last week since we last talked. When it comes to politics, we'll try to take this one bite at a time. Your initial reaction to President Joe Biden dropping out of the race?
Wait. Well, okay, yeah, we already talked about Trump getting shot. We talked about that last week.
But we'll still talk about it.
Okay. Uh, it's bittersweet. It's bittersweet. Now, I'm not one of the young people who was so up in arms about he's old, he needs to sit down. That wasn't me because my thing is, I don't really care if the man can't walk that good. You have a governor who can't walk at all. I don't really care if he can't walk that good. I don't really care if he can't talk that good. Can he govern? And governing, yes, I understand image and stuff, but in my opinion, governing the day-to-day decisions, you don't have to walk to do that. You don't have to talk well to do that. As far as uh, public speaking, he's had a speech impediment as long as we've known him.
Mhm.
So anybody who gets older, whatever issues you've already had are gonna get worse. Now, I don't think that Joe Biden has a mental problem.
Mhm.
Not like a significant one, no more than any other 81 or 2-year-old. I don't think
So
he has a
what
mental
what the
problem.
criticism is 81 or 2-year-old granddad or great grand whatever doesn't have to deal with issues that can affect millions and thousands of people every day. When you say,
If that's the case,
okay, yeah,
what's his name?
other
Donald Trump shouldn't be
81-year-olds,
running.
huh?
If that's the case, Donald Trump shouldn't be running.
He's not showing the same cognitive signs that Joe Biden is showing.
I think the
You can have
only
okay, let's talk about granddad. Granddad is the same age as
Mhm.
Joe Biden. Does granddad move and talk like Joe Biden?
No.
Okay. So
But
everyone's different. No, I'm saying everyone's different. So you can't just
right.
say, oh, well, you know, because he's old, blah, blah, blah. He's old with a lot of responsibility. So that's a big difference.
Yeah.
You can't compare.
I guess what I'm saying is, where is somebody, and I guess they won't do this, where's somebody in his cabinet who'll come out and say, because here's where I do, and I think you said it too, but I've heard more Republicans say it. Now, well, maybe I'm not gonna put words in here. Maybe you didn't say this. I don't know. But here's now what I do agree with. All right, if he's so unfit, why is he president right now? I'm
Well,
saying, like, what's
that's what Republicans are saying.
so? It's like, to me, I think the question is more so if he's 81, 2 or whatever.
Mhm.
Do we believe at 84, 85 he can do the job? To
Right.
me, I would rather, because nobody in his cabinet has come out and said, "Man, we was in a meeting and
But
he
they're not going to
said."
say that. They're not going to
I
say
know,
that.
but I'm saying, I don't think he's done that. I think when he's sitting down, he's rested. I think he's able to make decisions. That's all being president. That's not all it is, but that's the biggest thing, to make decisions all day, every
Right.
day.
But if he's showing that there is a dramatic decline, like this ain't partisan politics. I interviewed Joe Biden 4 years ago before he won the election. And I
Mhm.
went back and looked at the video. It's a totally different guy in the last 4 years. And so
Mhm.
when you elect someone, you're electing them to be able to be the president for the next 4 years. If he's
Yeah.
already at this point, and so that's the conversation. And Democrats have rebutted by saying, well, yeah, we don't think, he might be fine next year, but we don't think 3 years or 4 years, his last year, he may be fine. And so it's a difference in conversations of Republicans. Republicans are using the political lane of saying, well, if you don't think he's fit to be president in 4 years, how is he fit to be president now? I think that's two different things. He has 6 months left on his term. That's different than saying, I don't think when he's 84 years old, he's going to be able to function properly. I think it's two different
And I
conversations.
I also think that's why you have a vice president. So I think, all right, okay, because now this first term he was old. And so if at any point he felt he could not do the job anymore, that's why you have a vice president. All right, I gotta step down. Kamala, you step in.
But the people
Now,
voted for you as president. Yes, they voted for the
uh,
ticket, but I'm saying they
I about
voted
to
for you
say,
as president.
when you click on them on his
Mhm.
name, you saying if anything happens to him, I'm okay with Kamala Harris being president.
Correct.
I'm okay with JD Vance being president. That's what you're saying. Really, that's another conversation. You forget voting for who's just at the top.
Mhm.
Who's that second person? Am I okay
Yeah.
with that person being president too? So I think that is to go back to your initial question, him dropping out. Joe Biden will go down in history for his sacrificial leadership, but then also putting black women in particular in certain positions. The first vice president, the first black woman on the Supreme Court.
Mhm.
Here's what Joe should have done, in my opinion, especially if he doing what he's doing now. Joe, resign from being president today. Make Kamala Harris be the first black and also female and also Asian Pacific
For 6
president.
months? Because what if she don't win? So for 6 months.
She was president
For 6 months.
Really, I think he should have done it in like year 2, to be honest with you. But go ahead, let her be president now.
For 6 months. So and then it's gonna fuel the conspiracy theories and all that stuff. Oh, he planned to do this, and
And look, and if he wouldn't ever do this, but if I was him, I'd be like, and if I did plan to do that, like, so
that's misleading the voter.
no, what it is you voted for me and her. I can no longer
Mhm.
do the job, so I'm stepping down.
Mhm.
Kamala, you do it. That's really what he should have come out
But
on
if
Sunday and said.
you just said, all he really just got to do is sit down and make decisions. He ain't got to be at
No,
speeches and stuff. He just got 6 months left. Like, it's
you're
6
right.
months.
I'm looking forward to later in this week. They said that he's going to speak to America.
It'll probably be Thursday.
I think obviously he's not going to do this, but it would be such a beautiful thing if he says, if he gets on. Is he doing like
It's
in the
probably gonna
Oval
be an
Office?
Oval Office, yeah.
Yeah. So, which is that's how president's supposed to do with serious stuff. Which is, I know why he did it, but to me, if in his mind, if he had any bit in his mind that he was gonna drop out, I would have saved it for this. Bump doing that thing when Trump got shot when he was in the Oval Office. I know he needed to do that, but if I would have said now it's too back to back, it's too close. Seeing the president from the Oval Office, that's supposed to be
That was okay. He can't control that. In 2 weeks, there's two major things that happen.
that-
If you, I mean, that's
that's supposed to be
a former
reserved
president
for.
got shot at a campaign rally, and it was due to the incompetence of the Secret Service. Yeah, that warrants an Oval Office speech. So
Either way, Thursday, Friday, whenever he does it, if I were him, I would address the American people and say I'm resigning as president, and I would be
and
like,
he could.
and I would just be like, I'm tired. I'm just tired, and I don't think anybody would be upset about. Now, people who don't like Kamala Harris would be upset about it, but I
Mhm.
don't think anybody would be upset about that. I think people would be like, okay, you tired. Now, I think it could help her beat Donald Trump if she's president. Now, some people may say no, but I think it could help her because it would somewhat get Joe Biden out of the way. She has to spend the next 6 months, or well, it's not 6 months till November, but she has to spend all this time still tied to him, like up under him.
She's tied to him regardless.
I know, but she definitely Joe Biden, really, to be honest with you, I don't care what they had on his schedule. Between now and November, Joe Biden don't need to have no public appearances. None.
Why would you
None.
hide the president? That fuels Republican. That gives Republicans ammunition. Like I understand what you're trying to say, but that also does not. That makes their case even better. Saying, "Well, y'all hiding the president. He shouldn't be president."
I'm saying he don't need to go campaign for her. Like he don't need to go no
He'll
rallies.
do a rally for her, but he ain't about to be going across the country. No, he's not going to do that. He said he's focusing on his job as president. Yeah. All right. So part two of this, Kamala Harris is the likely nominee. Nothing is official until the DNC nominates a candidate and votes. Donald Trump was not the nominee until last Thursday when he accepted the nomination. But everyone is lining up behind Kamala Harris. She legally was the only person who could really take over all the money that the Biden campaign had. Now she's taken over the Biden campaign. It's the Harris campaign. She talked to supporters yesterday and gave her first speech. She had some zingers about Donald Trump and talking about her role as a former prosecutor. Are you shocked that it looks like no one's going to challenge her?
What's that man's name? Not Meacham. Man, what's that man's name?
Which state?
He's an independent. He used to be a Democrat. He's a senator. He really be wishy-washy. Sometimes he kind of be
Manchin. He's not running.
Manchin.
He's not
okay,
running.
so he's not.
Yeah, he said he's not yesterday.
Oh, okay. Because he called was that black woman who was over the DNC?
Donna Brazile.
Donna Brazile. He called her talking about what he needed to do to get in, and she said she told him, well, first of all, you need to register as a Democrat. Number one. But either way, okay.
One of the rules, I don't think he would have been able to do it, but he also the next day just came out and said, he's not going to do it.
Okay, good. So, what was your question?
Are you shocked that no one's challenging her? It appears that no one's challenging her. Everyone that's listed as a presidential hopeful has endorsed her. Because they probably want to be vice president, but yeah.
Right, Gavin Newsom, Gretchen Whitmire, whatever you say his name.
There's not going to be either of them.
Yeah, they all have endorsed her, and people thought they might try and challenge her. I think it would be foolish unless you're trying to be like Kennedy, crazy, can't talk self. Well, maybe I shouldn't have said that because I think he really has an issue. But unless you're trying to be like him, like you said, financially speaking, you would have been starting from zero. And it just, that would have been extremely difficult. You're talking about uphill battle. We need to unite. And Kamala Harris has raised a whole lot of money in her first few days. Like
Mhm.
within the first, I know 48 hours, it was like 80 something million dollars. So she's picking up some steam. It was a record that she had for presidential candidate in 24 hours, raising the most amount of money. I think, put it to you this way. No, I'm not really surprised that nobody's challenging her because everybody's trying to kiss her butt to be VP or in the cabinet or something. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. I wouldn't leave being governor of California or governor of it definitely wouldn't be Gretchen Whitmire. It's not gonna be two women. But
Mhm.
I wouldn't leave being governor for anything less than VP. I'm not about to
Yeah.
just be in the
Well,
cabinet.
it's a very, unless she shocks everyone, it's a very short list. It's going to be the governor of Pennsylvania or the governor of Kentucky or the
Those
senator from
battleground
Arizona.
states.
Yeah, you got to get and while a lot of people are pushing the governor of Kentucky, he brings nothing to the table as far as they're not going to flip Kentucky, even though he is a blue governor of a red state. Um, but people are thinking possibly Arizona or Pennsylvania, just because try to flip a state, not just get someone. But it's definitely going to be a white man. It's not going to be a woman,
It need
and,
to be.
and it's not going to be a minority. Um,
No,
yeah,
she take all of it. Asian, black woman. Yeah, no, we can
yeah,
forget about minorities. She's it.
right.
She's it. So I think this: if Joe Biden was running against Donald Trump 100% was going to be the next president.
Hmm.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I still think she's gonna lose, but I think it's a much more difficult fight than it would have been with Joe Biden. But
It,
that's the thing
it
she's gonna lose. I think.
the party has new energy,
Yeah.
but that energy has to be more than just energy. I mean, it's still just don't like you said. This doesn't mean that now all of a sudden she's going to win. That doesn't mean she can't win, but it's going to be have to be Obama number turnout, and some other factors.
Listen, y'all know, and let me, Lord, help me word this right. I'm not gonna say white people. MAGA. I'll just say MAGA. I'm not even gonna say Republicans. I'll say MAGA Republicans. You know what? MAGA Republicans hate more than a old Joe Biden. Black people, especially a black woman. Man, you think these MAGA Republicans about to let a black woman who married to a white man be the president?
It's going to be well,
Man,
but look, people said I know times are different, but people said that about Barack Obama. Think America's going to elect a black man with an
he still
African
was,
name?
yeah, he still was a man though, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
they couldn't find anything bad on him. It
yeah.
it it. Mm. Now Kamala Harris don't necessarily have a great record,
Well,
in
it's
the
funny.
opinion
Someone
of
sent me a
Democrats or
video.
Republicans.
It, well, in this age of social media, people are getting so much incorrect information. I'll put it like this. Now, she has all the Biden baggage that she has to deal with. As far as I mean, the border it sucked. Like that's just a reality, and things like that. But when people start going back to the critiques that they made of her when she was running in 2020, some of these are inaccurate. Like the statement that she locked up thousands of black men. That's inaccurate, and people have dispelled that with the numbers. And then also, I mean, you have to recognize as a prosecutor. I mean, she was an attorney general of the state, but she was a prosecutor. You got to go by the law that
Yeah.
lawmakers set. And so, if that city or state had a three-strike law, then yeah, you're going to send more people to jail if they had two strikes and then this was their third offense. So I just think, man, this more than ever, how people consume their news is going to definitely um was it influence how people vote regardless of the candidate, just because there's so much incorrect information, so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. I just think that It is definitely a different argument now because
Yeah.
he can't say the person's old. He can't say she's in. I mean, he can say she's incompetent, but like all the stuff that were those triggers that they could
Mhm.
use against Joe Biden, they can't use against her
Yeah.
because she's 20 years younger than him. She's and so the Democrats or even her are really trying to push that she's a prosecutor and he's a
Mhm.
felon.
Did you watch her speech Monday?
I watched a clip of it. No, I didn't watch the whole thing.
Well, I had to watch it live, of course, for work, but we thought it was weird. Like in 2024, he could have been on Zoom. Joe Biden called in at the beginning, and so like they just like let him talk before she came out. It was like awkward because like we're looking at the video of the podium, and he's just on the phone talking. I'm like, it's 2024. He could have did a Zoom. Uh, but so while she was talking, and she knew he was going to stay on the phone, but she forgot that he was on the phone. And he said something during her speech, and she said, "I know you're still listening, Joe." And he said, "I'm watching you, kid." But yeah, it's different. The conversation is different now. I talked to some voters yesterday in Dallas and got some mixed reviews. Uh, uh, to transition a little, and JD Vance, Trump's pick, he had his first solo rally yesterday, and some people were criticizing some of his comments. They said he was making some jokes that fell flat. Uh, some people said he bombed. I don't think it was that serious, but yeah. So this week was also the hearing for the Secret Service director. This is one of the rare times that Democrats and Republicans both agreed on something. We don't
Yeah.
have that often. All of them said she should resign. Do you think with the actions of what happened should result in resigning? I'll preface this with the last time a president was shot, Reagan, the head of the Secret Service resigned.
I don't
And she
and
said this is the biggest failure since Ronald Reagan got shot.
I understand well, okay, there's two different things. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I understand that as a leader, the buck stops with you. I get that. I embrace that. Cool. Now, this is the part I'm saying, correct me if I'm wrong. Ronald Reagan got shot as a sitting president. Like he was the president at the time when he got shot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So to me, the
Donald
head of the
Trump's
Secret
still a former president.
I know, but the Secret Service has, and I think they have more responsibilities than this, but they kind of have two responsibilities: the current administration, and
Yeah,
then all the former presidents. Kind of
correct.
two separate things. So,
Not really. Not in this case. This is a former president who's running for president at a rally that's outside, and you let some kid get on a roof
well, no, what I'm saying is
200 yards away from the podium and shoot him.
the
Like,
that
politics aside,
woman,
that was,
that
if he
woman
didn't turn
who's
his head, Donald Trump would be dead.
oh yeah, he'd be dead. That well, okay, well, and okay. After we talk about this, I want to chase a conspiracy for a split second. After I mean, the head of the Secret Service, that woman, I don't know her
Mhm.
name. I would imagine her hands weren't deep into.
They were not, but okay, how many leaders of companies' hands aren't deep into an error? Yeah, she didn't, and she said in the hearing, they said, "Did you sign off on the plan that day?" And she was like, "I don't sign off on plans." Now that's accurate,
Right.
yeah, but she is the leader. Okay, so why do leaders of companies, when BP oil spill, things like that, why do those leaders step down after something they didn't control?
Know what I'm saying? Okay, if I was her, I would say, why the hell I gotta step down? I would say now the person who
Because you are
them
the
people,
leader.
all them people, they fired. But I wasn't, I'd be like, I wasn't there. I ain't talked to them. I'm just
But
saying,
you
I
miss
don't
what I'm
see.
saying. So why do
I get what
leaders
you
of other companies step down? I'm asking. Why do leaders of other companies step down? They ain't got nothing to do with. Okay, no, he didn't step down, did he? Like, okay, when let's say airline has a problem, a bunch of delays, blah blah blah, and the people call for the leader to step down, and sometimes they do. They didn't cause the delay.
Okay, what just popped into my mind? I've been adamant here at the church with our children and youth ministries about certain things with safety that we have to make sure we putting certain measures in place so nothing happens to the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, God forbid, I'm just using this as an example. God forbid something happened to one of the kids. Let's say something horrible happened to one of the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And the news came and it got a lot of publicity and all that kind of
Mhm.
stuff. Am I gonna step down because of that? Hell no. I ain't. I can only do what I can do.
The agency she runs only job is to protect. Like this kind of two different things. If you're the leader of a church, like your job is not to protect people. Their job is to
I have a
protect.
responsibility to make sure
Yeah,
that
but that's
they are
not your
safe.
job. That's not your job. Her job is to protect the president and protectees.
I think with Ronald Reagan, he was the current president. That's
It's a
yeah,
former.
you
How
should get
often do former
fired.
presidents get shot? Okay, but this isn't. This is the thing. It's not like, oh, this was just some like, oh man, we don't know how this happened. It was a
Okay, so
person on a roof. There wasn't that many roofs in
okay,
that
so let's chase
field.
let's chase
Multiple
this.
people. They said he was identified as suspicious an hour before the rally started. No, and she tried to argue that suspicious does not mean a threat. She said there's tons of events that they have where someone's declared suspicious. That doesn't mean we're going to stop the event because you can be suspicious and not be a threat. But there was time in between him being on a roof that they still could have said, all right, let's stop this. And they did not.
That opens the door to the conspiracy theories. This is just my personal
Conspiracy
opinion
theories of what?
that to say it was an inside job is a stretch. But to say that someone allowed it to happen, I don't think that's a stretch. How
What do you mean allowed?
how in the world? And I don't think you can blame this on one person. How in the world? All of them people that was there, all law enforcement, even
Mhm.
though, and I saw something that said that Secret Service requested certain assistance from local law enforcement.
Yeah,
And
they
local law
always do.
enforcement said that they couldn't provide adequate, they couldn't fulfill the request that Secret Service was asking for.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's true or not. But what I'm saying is, and how in the world there was law enforcement inside the building?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and then they said one person did climb the ladder and allegedly he pointed the gun at them and they fell. But even after that happened, okay, y'all should have said stop.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know.
I-
Somebody at where were they in Pittsburgh? Where were they? Philadelphia,
Butler, Pennsylvania, I think.
Pennsylvania. I don't care what you say. Somebody in the Secret Service saw that man up there with a gun and said,
Let's hope that that's not the case.
how is all y'all job to protect him?
And the criticism is one, if there was a clear path to the podium, then the Secret Service should have expanded their perimeter. The criticism is on the planning, Micah, not necessarily. Yes, there's criticism to what happened in real time, but also the planning. They said that was outside of the perimeter. How is a clear shot to the podium from a
And it
elevated
wasn't even
surface?
far.
Correct. And so they're saying it should have just been someone on the roof anyway from the Secret Service, not from local law enforcement.
So, okay, that's what I'm saying. The people who was inside, who was supposed to have been outside, was that Secret Service or was that local law enforcement?
I don't know. I think it was local, but we still don't have the facts. She didn't answer a lot of questions because it's been reported that because it was hot, they were taking a break and stuff. I don't know. We don't have the answers. to be
Okay,
completely
and
honest.
even if I'm gonna take a break, don't take a break when the president come out. Like that's crazy. Like this, I don't care what nobody say. They allowed that to happen.
Oh, wow. That's a big accusation, Michael.
how in the world. Now I do understand that there's a certain aspect, and we saw this on January 6th. I've said this before. There's a
Mhm.
certain aspect of protecting people and buildings that's really a facade. That's a fear thing. That
Mhm.
it's an illusion to make you think, oh, the Capitol is so protected and impenetrable. And really, especially back then,
Yeah.
really, they ain't have a whole lot of security because it's like playing with your mind. So I think part of them is kind of like, ain't nobody gonna do nothing.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think, but this man, times are different, and it continues to get different. It was a failure. I mean, she said it was a failure, but okay.
I don't think
And,
she
and
should
then
resign.
after things, somebody has to fall on the sword. So it's probably gonna be her.
I don't
Because
think it should
even if
be
they
her.
fired some low level person, they're gonna be like, people are gonna say that's not good enough. Like it. This is the only thing that I was happy to see was that it wasn't a partisan thing. Like Democrats and Republicans were upset because it would have looked really bad if Democrats weren't just as because it could have been Joe Biden, it could have been Bill Clinton, it could have been Barack Obama. It just it shouldn't have happened. And like you said, if it was something that they couldn't plan for, this dude was literally like a football field away. Like that.
Yeah,
That's
like how
crazy.
we see Obama and Clinton and stuff just out on random streets all the
Hmm.
time. Okay,
Yeah,
now if somebody could easily just pull out a gun and start shooting. It
correct.
like you said, it wasn't like
That was
that.
it.
This
Wasn't like
something
that, and that's how the
y'all
Reagan thing was. He was just walking to the car. It wasn't at a rally.
right. Y'all planned this, which is why I'm saying who two people really a whole lot of people need to get fired, but two people need to get fired. Whoever planned it, because like you said, how a building 130 yards away, we don't have nobody up there. That's crazy. That's
Hmm.
one thing. Whoever did that need to be fired.
Yeah.
Also, all them, even though now like Trump and stuff are calling them patriots and saying they saved his life and everything, but
Hmm.
them snipers need to be fired too. Because and some people I saw say that their what their zone was that they were monitoring wasn't where he was.
Hmm.
That they was focused on another area. But still, I that's mm. So and here's what I think why the conspiracy theorists believe more of what they believe too. And here's where you have to believe in God. How did it graze his ear? How
Hmm.
did he turn his head at the
Yeah.
perfect time?
Right.
Like that's it's too many
And I've just seen
coincidences.
the recreation videos and stuff. Literally, because
Yeah.
people were saying, "Oh, the shooter was a bad shot." No, if he didn't move his head, it was the middle of his head. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And we pray for the families of the other people that are injured and the man.
Hmm.
Now, let's talk about RNC for just a second before we close out and everything. I feel it was extremely inappropriate the way Donald Trump had that man's firefighter uniform.
Why? Why?
Because Donald Trump is a joke. That, that was a
You wouldn't say that if Joe Biden did it.
no, I wouldn't. Because first of all, Joe Biden wouldn't have done that. It is Joe. I mean, what's his name? Donald Trump. He's a character. He does stuff for entertainment. Like that was he going over there. He kissed the man helmet like Donald Trump. You that was all fake. That nah nah. Don't don't
What?
do that.
I don't. If the family gave the man his jacket, I don't see the problem. I mean, it was yeah, was it staged? Sure, but like you wouldn't say that if a Democrat did it.
Cause they wouldn't.
You
It would
don't
have been
know.
different. It'd have been different. First of all, like I said, I don't think they would have done that. That's that's
Hmm.
that's I can't think of what I'm trying to say. But no, that's I just is the okay. Here's the way I feel about it. How sometimes some black people, when stuff happen, they don't want what's his name, Al Sharpton to come to the funeral and stuff because they're like, oh,
Hmm.
you just showing up. That's how
Hmm.
I felt about it when I saw him doing that. It's like,
Well, and he wanted to go to the funeral. The Secret Service said it was. I don't know if it was outside or something. they said it was too much of a threat, a risk. But he wanted to go to the funeral, so maybe he wouldn't have done that if he went to the funeral. Okay, to round out the show, because Mike is not focused, a great grandmother won $5 million during the lottery. She did a scratch off. This was after completing radiation treatments for breast cancer. This is a crazy story. Donna Osborne got the cash prize after a $50 scratch off ticket from a convenience store after a planned family vacation to Florida didn't work out, according to this Pennsylvania lottery news release. That's crazy. She 75-year-old, she scratched off the ticket in the store parking lot and was shocked to learn she won the multi-million-dollar prize. That's, man.
Talk about a second chance at life. Man, you beat cancer and then you win $5 million. What would you do if you just beat cancer and then you win $5 million? And obviously you probably only get like half of it because of taxes.
Look, you're gonna pay medical bills. That's what, man. And I think she said she's gonna save some money and take a trip to Alaska. That's what she said.
You've been because you went on the cruise. Like, what's so special about Alaska?
Because it's a part of the United States, but it's not connected to us. It's like, one, people are infatuated with, oh, is it cold, ice, like things like that, like icebergs and stuff. But then two, like they have a lot of nature. Like it's just a lot of land. Like I just saw eagles flying around the whole time. Like instead of seeing like pigeons and like the birds that we see walking, like all you saw is eagles flying around, like actual eagles. Like that's cool. I mean, I think people are just it's part of the United States, but it's like it feels like it's not. You know what I'm saying? It's not connected directly to the United States, and so it's
Similar
just
to
like
Hawaii. It's like you on vacation, but really you still in the country.
right. So it's just the experience of going somewhere that is still you're in the country, but you're not. Like I think that's
I just
why people like
don't
it.
think I've ever had a desire to want to go see ice.
It's not just ice; it's nature. It's something different. And some people just go once to to say that they've done that. Some people go once a year. Like
Doesn't the sky do something funny? Like with
yeah,
lights or something?
a certain part in the parts of the year it doesn't get dark until like midnight, or the sun doesn't go down at all. Like, and then you talking about the
The
northern
northern
light.
light.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like green. It kind of looks like a light show, but it's just like
So that didn't happen when you went.
no. But it got
Oh.
late. It got dark late. Like I forgot how late.
Can you imagine living somewhere and the sun don't go down?
Right. But
But
then
doesn't it
there's
do it reverse?
yeah.
Like, oh
See, I
Lord.
think I could do the sun doesn't go down because I mean I'm not the type that has to like close curtains or something to go to sleep. I would be annoyed by it's dark the whole day.
It
That would
don't
that
come
would
up.
mess me up.
Ugh. Oh nah. I couldn't live that like that. That's So y'all, Donald Trump and JD Vance versus Kamala Harris and some governor.
We'll have to see. Well, I guarantee you by maybe because convention is August 19th. I was about to say maybe next week we'll know her vice president pick, but no. But there'll probably be some more to talk about next week. So we will see you guys for episode 26 next week, same time, same place. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share all your clips for the Dialed In Show. Thank you guys.
Did we say that it was your birthday last week?
No.
No.
Well, my birthday was Friday.
Yeah. So look, y'all tell Steven happy belated birthday. His birthday was between last episode and this one.
There you go. Thank you. All right, guys. We'll see you next week.